It's pretty.
Right. Ready? Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
Shane.
We are back with Batman, Season 1, Episode 42, Joker's Wild.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened last time on was it if you're smart, why aren't you rich?
Yeah, the last time I remember Matt wasn't here because he's had some surgeries and he's recovering. Zach will be in as many as he needs to be, and if he can't, we'll try to get my son in there because he stepped in a few times. So give Matt a shout in the comments, guys.
Wish him well.
Yeah, last episode we had the Riddler. It was kind of his
intro.
Yeah, it was his intro, and I liked the episode. At first, there were some things like when they were fighting the thugs, and Robin was like
very Adam West Batman.
Yeah, there was just some
very campy.
Yeah, like I'm not
Scooby-Doo shit. Like they're chasing each other around.
Yeah, but like once we got into the maze, all this other stuff, like that shit was cool. I liked all that.
Well,
we had like this super
Batman
technology of this hand of Midas coming in and scooping you up.
Yeah, hand of fate.
Hand of fate, yeah.
Yep.
And of course, it was a video game. Now, I mean, I looked up some behind the scenes stuff, and like they actually like, okay, we want to distinguish him differently than like the Mad Hatter and Joker,
because there are some similar villains in probably a lot of rogue galleries. But
yeah,
since we're discussing Batman, I mean, the Riddler, the Mad Hatter, and the Joker all have similar themes.
There was a rough draft where they thought he was too similar to the Joker. So like, okay, we have to introduce this guy, we have to make him compelling, and we have to do like a Riddler-esque thing in 22 minutes. So I actually think they did well for that. For like a 90s show when they're not afforded some of the liberties that you get on streaming now when you can make as long as you want.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is a lot of Batman villains tend to put him in situations that are like the maze.
Yeah.
These elaborate traps.
I like a good maze.
These elaborate traps that how did they have time?
I like the things that were kind of chasing him.
The forethought.
Yeah.
To trap the world's greatest detective in this thing.
That's what the Arkham games needed, is a maze to get trapped into.
Well, I mean, you haven't seen it in a while, and I don't want to spoil it because I think you're planning on reacting to it. But The Mask of the Phantasm. It's a good example of a scenario and a place and how it's used.
Okay.
That, I get how these circumstances could befall all the parties involved.
Yeah.
And how it ends up here.
Okay.
It's a really cool way to tie everything back together. And from beginning to end of the film. And this, which I know they're cartoon serials. They're meant for kids.
Yeah.
And Rita Repulsa makes the putties and she makes the little monsters.
She's like God almost.
And she's fucking just slinging them out there left and right.
Yeah.
and then just singing them every week. She's sending this guy.
What did she do? It was she plays the Mother Talzin. Yeah,
that was the day, wasn't it? Back in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger days.
Yeah,
Goldar.
That badass music.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, shit's eating up.
There's the pig that ate everybody.
Yeah,
and they'd show up on his belly.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
See, that shit disturbed me. The idea that you show up on the belly.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. That's just awful. Yeah, awful to the point where I think it gave me nightmares as a kid. And Bulkin Skull.
Bulkin Skull, yeah.
Yeah, the bullies. Guys, before we jump into this one, if you want to support us, check us out on Patreon. We have full-length uncut reactions. We have up to 4 weeks early access, or at least right now. If hopefully Matt doesn't take forever. But anyways, we appreciate you. Stick around after the reaction for our review. Let's jump in. Well, that's pretty cool.
Did you see some Paul Dini?
He might have been the guy. I think he wrote either the first and second Arkham game or the third one.
I know I'm pretty sure he's a prolific Batman writer.
No.
Be sure the bulbs are spaced far enough apart for proper root growth. And remember to give the seedlings plenty of sunlight.
Walking around with a shotgun.
Look at Poison Ivy, man. She's double cheeked up on the couch, laying there prone, her favorite position.
That.
And now you're watching this.
Change it back.
Oh, no, don't want to.
Guard!
What's the problem?
Don't look now, Sonny Jim, but the plant lady's gone whackers again.
I was just sitting here.
That's right. You're always blaming me. And the children wonder why we fight.
Does his nose look a little bigger here?
Okay. You'll watch this quietly, or you go back to yourself.
You hold my hand, and I'll slug you.
They're lucky they let men and women in the same place.
Palisades Boardwalk, where it's opening day at billionaire Cameron Kaiser's latest showplace resort.
It's true, Summer. I set out to create the most opulent gambling resort in the world. After all, what's a few million here and there as long as my guests are happy?
Bruce Wayne, perhaps you can give us a hint about the top secret theme of Mr. Kaiser's new casino.
Looks like we'll find
That's a
the wait
humongous
is over.
pair of scissors.
I
Yeah.
officially welcome you, one and all, to Joker's Wild.
Say what?
He could have sued from prison. They're gonna let him out.
Oh, there you have it. Let's get a reaction from the guests. Mr. Wayne.
No comment.
Ugh, look at the guy's drawing back there.
Mr. Kaiser, why build a casino seemingly in honor of one of history's most notorious outlaws?
Summer, please. My Joker is a classic symbol, long associated with cards and games. I can't help it if there's a passing resemblance to some criminal fruitcake.
How dare that smug, preening fool try to cash in on my image? Now who should lighten up? He's ripping me off. I'll protest. Yeah, I'll sue. Then I'll rip his lungs out.
Take it easy.
The lungs statement.
I feel dizzy, sick. Everything's spinning.
That was a trick.
I'll get Dr. Bartholomew.
Yes.
Come on.
Sucker.
Just no one's
Get
watching.
out! This is a guess. But do you think that fucking guard is Batman?
I don't know if it is. It's a spoiler.
I don't know. Actually, I was wrong. This is not the episode I was thinking of.
Sounds like might be him. He's built like him, but they're all kind of built chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Not very maximum security-ish, is it?
No.
Step right up and play everyone's favorite game. What's the Joker got in the pail? Maybe a deadly poison. Or maybe just something to make the floor nice and slippery.
It's slippery for him, too.
He's a Joker. He practices this shit.
The fucking door's just open.
I guess I don't know. I know they can't do a complicated breakout, but... You know, I love the idea of that. It's like he lives his act.
Yeah.
Have you seen, it's called Now You See Me? Mark Ruffalo and Jesse Eisenberg and that hot redhead girl from Wedding Crashers. That guy looks just like Mario.
You see that? But the funny part is that he threw that fucking thing to pull him over the razor wire fence, and it would have drug him over the razor wire fence.
Could have done much worse.
Mm-hmm. You see that one big guard?
Yeah, it looked
You
like...
didn't see him later.
Yeah, you're right.
Staying in this horrid place pushes even my tolerance.
Mine too. But I'm convinced it wasn't Kaiser's original goal to make a Joker-themed casino. See?
But why the deception?
That's what I intend to find out.
That would get old.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I take back what I said about the guard being Batman. It makes no sense now. Like, why would he let him out of there completely?
Yeah.
And then come here to investigate?
I don't know. It'd be funny if you were right.
Unless he let him out.
He looks drawn well in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that sharp look that I like.
Looks like Kaiser broke the bank on this place. What an interesting hobby you've got, Cameron.
Jack Napier.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you!
That's the guard.
Is it?
He helped him escape.
Where are you? Come out and fight.
It reminds me.
Oh, that'd be freaky. Those guys, look. At the door, holding the door. Wait.
Jumping, shimmery Christmas. It's an homage to me. Kinda sorry I had to blow it up.
Come on and open table 6. We got players waiting.
Then again, all work and no play. The game is blackjack. Joker's rules, of course.
I'm sure it took a lot of effort to animate that because it looked really good.
Lucky don't be sore losers. We're here to have fun.
That deal is doing something screwy. I'm calling security. No, wait. We didn't deal. Yes, sir. You're the boss.
He's trying to get his attention.
Try your luck, friend. Say,
when I know you. Sure, Bruce Wayne. So this is how your family made all those billions. Don't care for the decor.
Not hardly. All those horrible faces grinning at me. That would do things to my mind after a while. Yeah, I'd be ready for the Laughing Academy if I had to stare at that ugly clown all day.
Why, I oughta.
Oh, lucky me. 21. Oh, nice. A little something for the Wayne Charity Fund.
You'd be fucking strong as hell to bust a fucking chip
Yeah.
like that.
He's here.
I love it. The idea of them both sitting across the table playing.
You.
Huh? Batman.
It's Batman.
Whoops, time to catch up.
Just leave the chips.
It's part of the gig, probably part of the fun.
Yeah. Malachi had one of those things, and it shocked you. It gave you a shock.
Yeah.
And he took it to school, and I remember he's in 4th or 5th grade, and principal called me, and he was dying. So this is funny, but unfortunately, can't have that.
Here's where I get off. Not bad for a starter, but the real fireworks are still to come. Whoops, coming through hot stuff one side.
Joaquin Phoenix had just Heath Ledger's still my guy, but he really had a good Joker, I think.
He did. Well, it's definitely a lot more of a damaged individual
Yeah.
under that Joker instead of someone that was just
Yeah.
insanely in love with who they were and what they were doing. Like he's not very megalomaniacal.
Yeah.
This lasting the night.
Hello, Pat. I want my personal copter ready to take off in 20 minutes.
What is this guy's deal?
Going somewhere.
First you trash my penthouse, then my casino. You're gonna wreck something else?
If I didn't know better, I'd say you wanted this place destroyed. Building this casino has bankrupted you. That's why you turned it into a target for the Joker.
You hit the jackpot, Batman. But I've got too much at stake to be stopped now. What do we do with him, boss? Send him down to his friend.
What if they just slit his throat there, you know?
He's down there singing.
What if they have to work together or some shit?
Kind of slow on the reflexes, eh, Batsy?
What is this?
Wakey, wakey. Thought you'd like to be conscious of your own demise. I really put some effort into this one. Once I spin the wheel, you, the casino, and that strutting fool Kaiser will all be blown sky high.
You won't get Kaiser. He's been playing you for a patsy. By the time you get clear, Kaiser will be miles away laughing at you.
I hate it when you make sense. I'll settle my score with Kaiser man to clown, but that still doesn't let you off the hook.
Like kill him just for spinning around like that.
I know.
I mean, that could fall on him and spinning around.
Yeah, it almost did.
Get me out of here, now! Yes, sir! Some clown jumped me and grabbed my copter. Mr. Kaiser's up there.
What are you wearing? Oh.
What are you circling for, you fool?
What are you circling for, you fool?
Me, Kaiser. The way you got me riled up and turned me loose on this place.
You were supposed to destroy the casino.
Yeah, but then I realized it'd be more fun to get rid of you and run the show myself. Why can't he ever stay dead?
There's a Batman.
Gotcha! Yes!
What do you say? If we lit the fire? The fire rises.
Yeah. I felt that one and that one. Good chance you could die.
What is that? All these people probably get fucking chopped up.
Yeah. Maybe that would support you. Just waited there.
Batman took his picture.
Looney Tunes. That would be a good idea.
We were watching that.
And was returned to Arkham.
Yep.
I guess Warner Brothers does own Looney Tunes, don't they? I really like that one.
Yeah, it's always enjoyable when you have fucking, old Marky Mark in there.
Well, there was just a kind of another layer to it. Like, the guy had a motive, you know.
Yeah, you had the kind of the sleazy businessman.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like with the Dark Knight, you had the mob who were backing the Joker, and then it just all blew up in their faces.
Yeah.
Because obviously they'd let the dog off the chain.
And this, he was counting on the Joker to do a certain thing, and then it blew up in his face.
Yeah.
And
Not quite the way he wanted it to.
I just liked it. So Now You See Me, and there's Now You See Me 2. As Jesse Eisenberg, who played Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. I know you know who Mark Ruffalo is. That one hot redhead girl from Wedding Crashers. And James Franco's little brother, Dave Franco. They do these crazy-ass heists. Mm-hmm. But they're magicians, too.
Okay. I remember seeing the trailers for that.
And, they do things like you went by themselves. It's like they live their act. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I wish I did that.
It takes a lot of commitment. You get so much belief in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some people can't handle that shit, though.
Well, it's like this one. I mean, everything they do, it shows that it's all so well planned.
Yeah, it's like Ocean's 11, but with
like Dave Franco, he's running away from this guy who's chasing him, and then he does something, and then the guy runs into a glass wall. But in reality, he just put that glass wall there earlier and made him run into it. But it was just so cool.
Just think about the fact that you were there earlier. It would just be so good.
I know. Well, that's how a lot of magicians are, kind of, you're going to get them there. So good.
Yeah, you got to go out of your way, so far out of your way to make that shit happen.
Every time I go to Myrtle Beach, I go to that magic shop. You know what I'm talking about? It's like on...
I'm not a fan of Myrtle. So.
Okay. It's...
At least my experience is at Myrtle.
It's just on one of those, big shopping centers, right? Yeah, dude, freaking a guy's in there and they're selling magic trick kits that have a tutorial. And sometimes they do these things and I'm stunned. I'm sitting there watching them.
There's a practice and everything.
Yeah. One thing they do is a levitating card trick. And I know how they do it. They have the tiniest black string. Mm-hmm. And I knew that. I said, is it a string? And he said no. And he did all this stuff around the card. Yeah. And I looked at a video on it, how it's done, and every time you do that, you have to switch angles. You have to be so conscious of where the card is or where the string. I couldn't even see the string. Yeah. I was looking for it. You know what I mean? So the card was floating around, but it was tied to. It was around his body. So as he'd move, it would elevate. But it looked so real. And he was doing all this. He said, "No, there's no string, man." I was like, "This is crazy. I gotta buy it." You know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, it's a string!" You know. So,
they got me! Rick stands up.
Yeah.
They got me!
Yeah.
Those bastards!
I've always loved magic. I just don't have a good aptitude for it, really. I've known a few card tricks, but I'm always people see me.
Yeah, I can't do that shit.
Yeah, I have a respect for it, and I imagine the Joker would know some tricks.
You'd have to think that'd be his whole shtick.
Yeah.
He'd be obsessed with that kind of shit.
I love the idea of it.
You have the idea with Joaquin Phoenix's role as kind of the failed comedian.
Yeah.
And then the broken man, so it's kind of that little...
Remember the bit where, there was, I can't remember. It's there was a bit with a short person. They referred to him as a midget in the movie. He said they'd be looking for fucking midget. It was the funniest thing in the fucking movie. Besides when he kills that guy and
he lets the midget go.
Yeah, he's trying, but he can't reach the lock or something.
Yeah, and he walks over and unlock. Or does he eventually get it, or does he walk over and unlock it for him?
I think that's what happens. Yeah.
Walks over and unlocks it for him.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I know he lets him go. He's like, "You were always nice to me," or whatever.
Yeah.
He lets him go. Is the guy that played the guy that was shitty to him? That's not Errol Childers, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah,
almost positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's got some range. I mean, he's in Boardwalk Empire. I guess he's a really good theater actor, and he can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
He's our new Vincent D'Onofrio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Vince is, he's still great as Kingpin. He's kind of settled into that role. He hasn't done much else.
I guess they're gearing up when they're going to relaunch Daredevil. I still haven't seen the original.
Also, they're actually going to start it over from scratch.
I think it's a continuation. I don't know. And even on his gun, he had his little face and stuff on there.
Some of that shit's really, really hammy, over the top hammy. That I don't even think is cool anymore. It's okay.
To me,
he has the fish. And they have the Joker faces on the fish and shit.
What was this? Okay.
I don't know what episode it's in. I remember seeing the figure.
Okay.
He's like it's like, okay.
But the idea that he would do that, I kind of thought, I kind of admired it. It's like, you know, like you might pull this gun out, and if you do, you're still going to make like a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Using it also shows how it's consistent with how he feels about his own branding.
Oh,
that when someone else would use it, you know, all the effort he puts into.
Shame I got to blow it up.
Yeah.
Or I always feel bad I got to blow it up.
Yeah, that was actually funny, and yeah, I thought this was.
Well, he's a really enjoyable. He's always been. Well, I shouldn't say always, because I didn't watch like the Cesar Romero days with Adam West and Jack Nicholson. That role was great. It was very different takes on Jokers throughout the years. That did remind me though, when he's talking to Poison Ivy in the asylum about the television, he said he'd rip the guy's lungs out. That line or similar line was used by Jack Nicholson in the first Batman film.
Oh.
And also the laughing box, the Joker's head's just turning around laughing.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that movie too, because he has this little box, and at the end he dies.
Okay.
When he falls off the building, he's got a little laughing box in his jacket, and it's just laughing constantly.
Oh.
It's going
Even when all the time?
Yeah, he's dead. He's lying on the sidewalk after he died, and it's in his jacket.
Oh, okay.
And Gordon walks up and was like looking at him and picks it out of his jacket.
Who's Gordon in that movie?
Some fat guy. He's like the same guy as Gordon in the first 3 films.
I don't remember anything about those movies.
I remember that much. Because he had the same Alfred. He had the same Gordon.
I remember one time he was sick and he had to get a cure for him or something.
That was
Clooney, right?
Yes, because Arnold gives him the cure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that movie. I just that's okay.
And Hot Uma Thurman.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and I'm not going to complain about a 35-year-old show where they're doing the best they could for the 22-minute, you know, with all these restrictions imposed on them. But you know, like obviously the way he escaped jail, like that was too easy. But like,
yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. I think that guard was.
Oh yeah, you're right. So they actually even explained it.
Yeah, so I think the Kaiser's guard.
So this is a foolproof episode for the most part.
It was.
Yeah.
It came together pretty much.
Anyways, I think that's all we got, guys. If you want to support us, leave a comment down below. If you don't want to be a patron, shame on you. No, just kidding. See you next week.